Hello there, and welcome back to our Eat Well video series where we introduce healthy eating habits one bite at a time. I'm Dr. Atkin, and today we're going to talk about a very important healthy habit, and that's green smoothies. Now, we're going to get into the educational part of this, but before we get into too much education, I want to give you a very implementable step. We talked about how fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, beans, nuts, and seeds are the healthiest foods. And that's what we want to get as much into of us as we possibly can. Well, as we transition into healthy eating habits about 10 years ago, one of the most important things that we did is that we started adding a green smoothie every single morning. Now, green smoothies are packed full of fruits and vegetables. It's a fantastic way to start the day, full of energy. Our kids are now asked for it every single day. They know how to make it as well too. And so I'm going to show you exactly what we do. In fact, I created another video that just shows you how we make our green smoothie, something that I want you to start adding, something you can add right away. Quick note, we use a Vitamix. Now, a Vitamix or a Blendtec are both wonderful high-speed blenders. We've had ours for 8 years. We use it multiple times a day. It's going strong as ever. Get a refurbished one. It'll save you a couple $100, and believe me, they just keep going and going and going. So with that, let's jump into this other green smoothies video.
But as far as green smoothies go, I wanted to show you exactly how we make these. So we have the Vitamix. I mean, Vitamix, Blendtec. You can get a Ninja, bullet. There's a lot of different things you can use for that. I might have some links down in the comments below. But I'll fill it half full of greens. Now I've got 4 kids, me and my wife. I mean, this makes 6 good cups of green smoothie. So you'll have to make more or less depending. But I'll pack this half full of greens. You can use kale, you can use spinach, whatever you like to use. Spinach is usually the most mild and tastiest flavor early on as you're making a shake. But we'll include, you can throw anything in. I'm gonna throw a couple oranges, couple apples, couple of bananas, some pineapple in it today, but you can use peaches, nectarines. I mean, grab whatever's in the fridge. There's a zillion recipes online. So the way that I do an orange is I'll actually just take a peeler and I'm just going to take the outer orange part of it off, because the white part underneath it is called the pith. And the pith is not only probably has just as much vitamin C as the rest of the orange itself, but it's a good source of fiber as well too. And so since this is going to get all blended up, it's going to be in a form that your body can easily absorb. So I'll quickly just peel that outer layer off. Some people have thought, well, I like orange zest, so I'll just throw the whole thing in there. It's too orangey, you're not going to like it. So I would definitely peel that orange part off. And then, in this case, since the Vitamix can just absolutely eat everything up, I just need to kind of get it maybe quartered, just small enough to be able to use. So we'll throw in the orange next. Now with the apples, once again, the apple core itself has seeds, which also has some really good, nutrients. So we just have to quarter those up. Now I have found that, if there's a spot where just filth, nasty gunk likes to live, it's in those corners. So I'll kind of snip that off just for the sake of, you can't really wash that off very well. But as far as worrying about coring them, we don't really have to core them. So we're going to throw a couple apples in here. And, I found that when it comes to texture, when I leave apples out, it's kind of weird. I really like adding bananas in there for the texture of it as well. I've seen people add, they'll put a scoop of, protein powder, or, they'll use different nut butters, almond butter. Sometimes coconut milk is something that people use because it adds some good healthy fat. So there's lots of different things that you can do with these smoothies. But, we love the smoothies. My kids love it. It's the best way to start the morning, and it's really good for, for going to the bathroom as well too, because, you get all this goodness just absolutely blended up. You'll see we'll just kind of slice a chunk off the pineapple. You don't need to take the pineapple core out, at least not in a Vitamix. Maybe in some other blenders that may not be quite as strong, you might want to take the core out. But, all you do is you take these in 4, and we've got that in there. Now, I always add a glass of water to it. So we use, we may be talking more about this as well too. We have our filtered alkaline water over here as well too, out of our separate faucet. So I always add just a glass of water into it as well, just because that's what actually allows it to mix up. So we will carefully pour that in there as well too. And then what you're going to see in a minute as I get this going, and actually I kind of, I'll add a little bit of orange, peach, mango. Don't always do that. We have it with us today. It makes it a lot sweeter, so if you're just getting into smoothies, throwing some juice in there is great as well too. Just make sure it's real juice. I mean, you don't want to be throwing any ascorbic acid in it or anything like that. Now, the reason why it's so beneficial to blend, some of your foods is that you're going to see this blender is absolutely going to chew and pulverize and just make everything liquid. And so it's going to do a really important job for your digestive system. It's going to break down the cell walls, of all the plants that are in there. And so what you're going to see, and obviously, it's too loud as we're doing it for me to really be able to keep talking, but I'm going to get it going, and then I'm going to dump a glass of ice in it so that cools it down really nicely, and then I'll get just the right amount by adding some juice in this case, or sometimes I'll add some extra water in there. So let's go ahead and get this thing blended up and show you exactly how that works.
Sorry. Put the lid on.
Okay, so as we go on there, we'll just... So that's about the texture and consistency we like. And there you can see as you pour it, this is just absolute liquid gold as far as that goes. So made some nice healthy muffins this morning. Kids are ready to eat. So I'm going to scoot and get off to breakfast.